I used to plan 30 tasks for my week and complete maybe 10 of them. Then wonder why I felt like a failure every Friday. And here's what's crazy. The problem wasn't my discipline or my productivity system. It was that I didn't understand the difference between tasks and weekly goals. By the end of this video, I'll show you the exact weekly goals framework we use at the Paperless Movement, the 5-goal rule, how to choose what actually matters, and why this prevents burnout. If you finish every week feeling behind despite working 50+ hours, this is your answer. Here's what Monday morning looks like. You open your task management tool. You see everything you could possibly work on. Projects that need attention. Ideas you capture. Task from last week you didn't finish. New requests that came in Friday afternoon. And you think, okay, this week I'm going to get it all done. So you start adding tasks to your week. The proposal that's due Thursday. 3 client calls to schedule. That marketing campaign to review. The budget spreadsheet to update. 5 emails you owe people. The presentation deck to create, the process documentation you've been putting off, 2 reports your boss wants, and it keeps going. By the time you're done planning your week, you've got 25 to 30 tasks staring at you. Monday starts strong, you knock out a few tasks. Tuesday, something urgent comes up, a client needs immediate attention, there goes 3 hours. Wednesday, you're in meetings. Most of the day. Thursday, you realize you're behind. Friday afternoon, you've completed maybe 8 out of those 30 tasks. And you sit there thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get through my list? So you do what everyone does. You moved the unfinished tasks to next week, except next week has its own work. So now you're starting next Monday with 22 carryover tasks plus 20 new ones. You've got 42 tasks staring at you. The anxiety compounds, the overwhelm increases, and you start every week already behind, already defeated, already knowing you won't finish what you plan. Here's why this happens. Your brain is terrible at estimating how long things take. Research shows we constantly underestimate task duration by 40 to 50%. It's called planning fallacy. So when you plan 30 tasks for your week, you're actually planning about 40 hours of work into 20-hour execution window. The math doesn't work. Here's what's really crazy. The solution isn't working more hours. When we implement the ICOR methodology, the 5 weekly goals framework, both incorporate, no matter the industry or the company size, the paperless movement itself, completion rates went from 30% to over 90%. Not because people got faster, because they got realistic about what's actually achievable in a week. And here's what compounds the problem. Every unfinished task creates what psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain keeps thinking about incomplete tasks even when you're not working on them. So those 22 carryover tasks aren't just taking up space in your tool. You're carrying mental debt that makes it harder to focus on today's actual priorities. The issue isn't your capacity. The issue is your weekly planning framework sets you up for failure before you even start. So here's the framework that changes everything. Every Monday in our agenda meeting, we choose 5 weekly goals maximum. Not 30 tasks. 5 goals that would make this week successful. First, understand what a weekly goal actually is. It's not a task like send email to John. It's a meaningful outcome like finalize Q1 marketing strategy. Each weekly goal typically contains 3 to 5 tasks underneath, or at least 2 to 3 hours of work of one task. So your 5 weekly goals might represent 15 to 25 actual tasks total, but you're committing to 5 outcomes that matter, not drowning in a task list of 30 disconnected items. This mental shift is everything. You're not tracking tasks, you're tracking outcomes. Second, use the 5 business pillars as a forcing function. We have 5 business pillars: product, marketing, sales, finance, operations. During our Monday agenda meeting, we set at least 1 weekly goal per pillar. This not only works out, but it at least gives you a guidance or a North Star that you can focus on. This forces strategic thinking. You can't ignore finance for 3 weeks because you're busy with product launches. Every pillar gets attention every week. This prevents the urgent, drawn out important problem that kills businesses. Marketing feels urgent every day. But if you ignore finance for a month, that debt catches up with you hard. Third, Link every weekly goal to your long-term goals. If a weekly goal doesn't move your long-term goal forward, it shouldn't make the list. This is how you prevent busy work from taking over. In your project management tool, ClickUp, Asana, whatever, you literally link each weekly goal task to your goal object. This creates accountability. 3 months from now, you can look back and see exactly which weekly goals moved which long-term goal forward. Fourth, protect your weekly goals from reactive work. When someone asks you to take on something new midweek, you ask, which of my 5 weekly goals should I drop to accommodate this? This forces a conversation. Usually the answer is, never mind, this can wait until next week. If it's truly urgent, you make a conscious trade-off. But you don't pile it on top of existing commitments. You swap, not add. This is how you maintain realistic workload and actually complete what you commit to. This exact framework is how we maintain over 90% weekly goal completion rates every single week. Full stop. You finish your week feeling accomplished instead of behind. Your team trusts your commitments because you actually deliver. And burnout becomes optional because you're planning realistically. So here's what you do starting next Monday. Choose 5 weekly goals maximum. Link each to a long-term goal. Use your business pillars to force strategic balance. But if you're serious about build a system end to end, including also your personal knowledge management and note-taking, then grab our free ICOR Journey Starter Kit below. You'll get everything you need to get started completely free. Now, if you want to see how we break these weekly goals into daily execution using ICOR's Highlight of the Day framework, check out the next video. I'll show you how to choose what matters most each day so your weekly goals actually get done.